Okay, so we are going to be talking about single replacement reactions specifically in this video. So for those of you who are in my single replacement reaction group, you should be the green group. You should be watching this video to learn about single replacement reactions. In order to complete this, you are going to need your chemical formula sheet, and specifically, you are going to need the activity series on the back. So the way this works is we have to determine whether a reaction will actually occur based on the reactivity of the elements in your equation. Excuse me, I have allergies, so my voice is a little bit rough today. So let's look at H2 here. If H2 is the element in your equation, it will be trying to replace another element in a compound. So if the element is below H2 on the reactivity series, it will get replaced by H2. So the reaction will occur, H2 and the other element will swap places, so H2 will now be in the compound. However, if the element is higher on the reactivity series, say it's calcium that's in the compound, H2 is not strong enough to boot calcium out of that compound and make a reaction occur. So not only are you writing these reactions, but you're actually going to be figuring out if they are going to occur or not based on the reactivity table. The same thing occurs for our nonmetals. There are only 4 of them. So you do the same thing. The less reactive elements will not replace the more reactive elements in a compound. Okay, so let's first talk about our formula for these reactions, our format equation. When we're looking at our metals, remember we're using A's and B's to represent our metals. So we have A plus B, X, so that's our compound. B is attached to X. And then that's going to form B, so A is coming and booting B out of this compound, plus A, X. So in this case, A would have to be higher on that reactivity series than B would be. If we're looking at our nonmetals, we're going to say Y plus, let's keep B, I like B, BX, and Y is going to come and boot X out of that compound, so you get X plus BY. All right, so just like we were doing the last couple of days with writing these steps, we're going to be doing the same steps. We're going to do orange instead of yellow, but now we have a few more steps in this yellow area. So we're still going to do the same thing. We're going to use the chemical formula sheet to write out the symbols and the charges with our arrows and our addition signs. So let's start with number 1. Copper reacts with, so that's a plus, iron sulfate. And because you guys are really smart, you are going to be writing out the products. So then we have our arrow. And I don't want to write out my products like in words, so I'd rather do that in symbols. So let's replace these symbols and then figure out our products. So I'm going to go over to my chemical formula sheet. Copper, 2 would be Cu2 plus, and iron Fe3 plus, and sulfate SO4 2 minus. Okay, so now that I know my 2 metals, we're going to see if they actually replace each other. You can barely see that. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to find copper on my reactivity series. There it is. And then I'm going to go and I'm going to find iron. Oh, iron is above above copper. It means iron is more reactive than copper. That means that those two will not switch places. The reaction will not occur. So step 1, step 2, we said if it is lower, if the element is lower, there will be no reaction. So we're actually going to skip down. If there's no reaction, write NR on the product side. But we still want to make sure that this is written out correctly. So we're going to take our pink. This is an element all by itself. We get rid of that charge. We're crisscrossing because these two are not equal but opposite. And then I'm going to transfer to blue. I've got Cu plus Fe2SO4, and I need my parentheses. Really important because this is a polyatomic ion and there's more than one of them. And my arrow, except we have no reaction. So that is what your answer should be. It shouldn't be left as like this with just NR written big. Nope, I want to make sure that you can still write those out how they're supposed to be written out. All right, and then we're gonna go on the back and we are gonna do number 6. All right. So step 1, we're going to identify what we need. We got barium. It's going to react with silver chlorate to produce something. All right, let's find barium, Ba2+. I'm going to react with silver Ag plus 1, chlorate ClO3 minus 1, and that's going to produce something, maybe. Okay, so now we're going to go back to our activity series. We have barium. Oh, that's pretty high. And we have silver. So barium is higher on the reactivity series than silver. Barium is going to boot silver out of that compound and take its place. So a reaction will occur here. So now we have Ag got booted out plus Ba plus 2, ClO3 minus 1. Okay. Let's make sure we did all our steps. We wrote that down. We used our activity series. If there's a reaction, we wrote out our products. So now we have to add subscripts and make sure there's no diatomic elements. Excuse me. So barium is not on our diatomics element sheet, and neither is silver. So barium loses its charge, and we check, are these equal but opposite? Yes, so then these cancel out, and I don't have to do the crisscrossing. Silver, also not a diatomic element, and these are not equal but opposite, so we are going to crisscross. Okay, and now we're going to write it out. Make sure you leave room for balancing. Barium is an element plus AgClO3 is going to produce Ag as an element plus BaClO3 2. Got one barium, one silver, one chlorate, 2 chlorates. So we need 2 chlorates over here. And now I have one barium, 2 silvers, 2 chlorates, 2 chlorates. And I am done. So that is how you do reactions, single replacement reactions. That's how you write them out, and if you tell whether or not they are actually going to produce a reaction. Next week we are going to be doing some labs where some are going to produce reactions and some are not, and you will see this actually in action, rather than me just telling you that sometimes you put things together and they don't do anything. Alright, please don't hesitate to reach out to me in person, via WebEx, via email if you have any questions about this, and the answers are posted for you on BB9.